Hello, and welcome back to Piano Spun Yarns for day 4 of our World of Wool Advent Calendar. Today we're going to be opening a new blend of wool, learning about a new tradition, and checking in on some of the progress we've already made. Day 4 is titled Window Shoes, and this tradition comes from Iceland. Our blend is made of Icelandic wool, which makes sense if the blend is from Iceland, and stellina, which is a really shiny, what's the word I'm looking for? Synthetic material that kind of glitters in the yarn. So for me, I think of snow or the northern lights when I think of that being in a blend from Iceland. Let's take a look at it. I've got a mixture here of mostly gray with a little bit of green. Ooh, and a little bit of red too. So the stellina itself, I'll hold it up to the camera. The stellina itself looks to be red, green, and gold. And instead of being blended well into the Iceland or the Icelandic wool, which is what I would expect when you get a wool and stellina blend. Usually they're mixed very well. Here we have more of a striping effect with the stellina. And this is going to work really well with our color from yesterday, which are going to end up being used in the next motif together. So we'll pull in a little bit of that red. We'll also pull in a little bit of the green. That looks like the color from day 2. And we'll mostly have this nice gray background. Our motif of the day, day 4. This is cute. We have a little argyle type pattern. When I see this design, I always think of, I don't know if anyone else read the Click series in middle school, but the covers always had like plaid or argyle on the back of them, or on the whole cover. Kind of those really fashionable school fabrics. So this is what our next motif will look like. I want to check in on the coat progress so far. So this is what we're looking at. I dropped a bag. This is our progress so far. I've just added decreases for this motif that I just did. And I also finally got my color dominance correct. So you can see that motif is so much bolder and brighter than the motif that came before it. It's a little bit of a shame. If I were not doing this as an Advent project where it was really time sensitive, I might even rip back and fix the color dominance on this section. You can see on the sleeve motif that I did do the correct color dominance, and the difference is you can actually see what the pattern is supposed to be. So that's what it should look like. And you see that white, it's kind of like falling behind the green, it just gets lost. So if you ever wondered why color dominance is important in color work, which hand you're holding, this is why. Because you can really lose color work if you're not controlling your colors nicely. These colors even are very similar in kind of tone quality. I was worried that you wouldn't see the motif because these two colors, they have kind of the same hue. Different shades, but they have a very similar hue. But because I did the color dominance correctly, you can really see that that shines through. I also have to make a change with my original plan to the coat. I wanted to keep the color work going down the sleeves for the whole length of the sleeve until the cuff. And then the color work would continue on just the body of the coat. But unfortunately, I don't have enough of the blue left to finish the sleeves like I thought I would. And also they just take so much more time. They're not a lot of work. I guess it's 6 more pattern repeats, so it is a lot more work. But just switching between sleeves, it takes a lot of time. So instead, the Advent motifs are just going to continue down the length of the coat, and the sleeves are going to become probably just white, and I'll probably fill in like just a small cross motif, something like was happening at the very top, and I'll just fill in colors from the coat, just kind of in like a random order. That way you're still getting all the different colors that appear in the coat, but it will not be the main motif. All right, I'm gonna set up the spinning wheel, and I'll be back to tell you a little bit about the tradition of window shoes in Iceland. In Iceland, you're not likely to be visited by Santa Claus on Christmas Eve. Instead, you will be visited by 13 Yule lads, who are kind of the stand-in. They're kind of Santa Clauses. If you're familiar with Krampus, you might be aware that in some cultures, Christmas folklore legends are used more in an effort to scare children into behaving than a benevolent, kind giver of gifts. So this was where the tradition of the Yule lads were born. They were 13 scary, awful beings that you did not want to meet. They would visit you each night, but you did not want to meet them. In recent years, it's more likely that they are depicted as being teasing, but overall kind. The 13 Yule lads, who have titles such as the Spoon Licker, the Bowl Licker, the Door Slammer, and the Window Peeper, are all mischievous and kind of tricky beings that visit every night starting on the 13th of December. So there are 12 days of visits from the Yule lads. The Yule lads also kind of have a tragic backstory unto themselves. They're said to have an evil mother named Grilla, I think that's the pronunciation, and they have a family cat called the Yule Cat, who's vicious and lurks the countryside. I'm just marveling over how beautiful this blend is. There's also some, I think, maybe rainbow stellina mixed in here as well. It's creating such a cool effect. I can't wait to show you this finished yarn. I just read here on a website called Your Friend in Reykjavik that in 1746 there was a discipline ordinance that outlawed using terrifying measures to make children obey. So there were some legends in Iceland that were so scary that they had to create a law that banned them from being used on children. That's probably not funny, but it is a little funny. The window shoes refer to pairs of shoes that children will place in the windowsill because each night when the Yule lads visit, they will leave a small gift if the child is good. If the child has not behaved, instead in their shoe they will receive a potato. This tradition is again kind of recent to history, certainly not as recent as the day of Kentucky Fried Chicken in Japan, but this tradition was kind of brought over and combined with other traditions by sailors in 1930s. So it's not that old, only about 100 years or so, which is recent in tradition years. I'm going to continue spinning up the window shoes blend, and I will be back here to show you what the yarn looks like when it's done. See you then. I'm in a different location this morning to show off this yarn. I wish I had like a bright light that I could shine on the yarn itself, because there's so much subtle color happening here with the red and the green stellina, and it really sparkles. So I hope you'll be able to see that. From far away, it has a really plain gray appearance, but when you get close up, you can see all the different colors that are inside of it. It's really nice. Hey, it's me again. I forgot to film an outro this day, so when you come back tomorrow, you'll notice that I am filming in a new location. And starting tomorrow, my microphone also started to work. I figured out things that made the sound and the video a little bit better. So you have that to look forward to. I think from day 5 onward, there's a definite uptick in the way that I wanted to present videos. So I hope you'll stick around for that. I will be back tomorrow with the next yarn and motif. I hope to see you there. Bye. When I think of a really sparkly, I live on a highway. It's not going to get any quieter.